Hello and welcome to Weowcast number 8. Can I get a few wheels from the crowd?
It's the
Meow.
Ocho. The Ocho.
Le Ocho.
Yeah.
We are bringing this presentation of Weowcast 8. It's not really a presentation, it's more of a podcast. But you're joined here by me, Cazalis. You got your boy Piper,
Yeah, boy.
aka the Pipes.
Let's
Let's skip Steve and go to Bluff.
Skip Steve.
Then we got Ursus and Steve right here in the corner.
Right here in the
Massachusetts.
In the corner of
Massachusetts. What's today's
So
date?
we got some exciting topics today. We're going to talk about what it means to be a furry, what the general term, the definition is, just some good stuff like that. Then we're gonna what else are we gonna talk about? Talk about Uncle Kage's post about something, and then we might do some other stuff.
Here's the most detailed
I haven't read it,
intro.
but some other people have, and they have some valuable input.
Oh, that intro by Kaz.
So
Excellent intro.
let's do some more weekly introductions because this is a very we have a
That was a drive-by wheel.
we got a form to follow. So Piper, how's your week going?
My week has been really good.
Tight.
Things have been a little bit more relaxed, and I've been able to try and handle things a lot better. So work is definitely a lot better now. I'm starting to trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And I've got my first convention this weekend, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh my god.
Oh,
we should
probably say, Piper, we should probably say that it's Tuesday we're recording this and not Thursday. Yes.
That's right.
We
Tuesday,
had
right?
to adjust it to allow for everybody to be
Able to be here.
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier to hit up Tuesdays than Thursdays.
What?
Because in the end of the
What's
week,
the con
shit's
called
popping
again?
off.
The con
That's right.
I'm going to is FameCon in Tennessee.
You're gonna be
Is it gonna
meeting
be-
one of my fursuit crushes.
Oh
to be
yeah,
honest.
I saw that on
Rhubarb?
Twitter.
You're gonna be meeting Rhubarb. Man, I'm jealous. Rhubarb the bear. He's an awesome guy, performer. Shout out to Rhubarb. Anyway,
So,
so to
so
Rhubarb.
FameCon. So is it gonna be spoopy?
3 spoopy 5U.
Are you gonna
This
Are
is
you gonna
going
have a
over
Halloween costume on
Halloween.
top of your fursuit?
To what?
Are you gonna have a costume on as well as your fursuit?
I will not.
You should do Zombie Piper.
That doesn't go with the theme though. But no, I don't have anything to really add with it.
What is the theme?
It's the Neverland thing from Peter Pan. It's
Okay.
like the Lost Boys and all that sort of stuff.
You totally a Peter Pan hat, like a green.
That would work.
That
damn
green
well.
hat would work so
Oh,
well
yeah.
with your fucking suit.
But
It
I'd
really
have to get that
would.
hat
Piper Pan.
before.
That's the hat.
I'd
That's
have to
it.
get it before Thursday. Where am I going to get one from? Oh.
Halloween
The
store.
hat
store.
The Halloween store. Spirit, you don't have a
Okay.
store where you at?
I'll go check that out.
Check it
I'll
out.
go check it out Thursday when when I I have my off day from work.
Make that happen, Captain.
Really, it would work so well. You got that whole green thing going on.
Yeah.
All right, more of the green.
That's right. We need more green.
We need all that green.
We need more green.
420 blaze it.
Bluff, how was your week?
Yeah.
My week. Oh man, fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yes, and not sarcasm at all. Ooh. Yes, it is fantastic. However, can we really call it a week? Considering didn't we record on like Friday?
How was your
We
past
did,
5
actually.
days?
How was your
4
2 days?
Past few days.
Saw Ursus on Saturday. That was awesome. That was pretty dank. It was preposterously dank.
That was
Preposterously dank.
It was preposterously dank. It was a good time. I had a really good time with him and our friend Ducky and Winston. And it was
Super jealous.
yeah, it
Super
was awesome. It
jealous.
was legit. Slamming music tracks. I felt like
Slamming.
Prince
Dave's
in,
Loaf.
in the Chappelle Show skit. We came back to his apartment. The tracks were slamming.
Aww.
So no, it was a good time. And then Sunday. Shit, what was Sunday? Sunday was Red Bulls game. They were away. Red Bulls won. They won first place in the league going into the playoffs. It's pretty legit.
Yay, sports.
Woo! Sports ball.
They
Sports
did
ball.
the thing and earned the points.
They kicked the
Yeah.
ball. The net, and then the net went swoosh.
Swoosh.
It was fouls, I think. I don't know. Yeah, no, and then now just work. You know, I worked pretty much this whole week, and then Friday, getting in that automobile, vroom vroom, and heading up to scenic Connecticut, the worst state ever.
Wait.
Wow. I know.
Where did you go in Connecticut?
Wow.
I have history in Connecticut. I don't like the state, but I like the cops.
Where did you go?
What?
Where did you go?
My ex is from New Hartford, which is in Litchfield County. New Hartford. It's like 30 minutes south of Springfield, Massachusetts. Anyway, however, my week has been fantastic. Yeah, that was 4 years ago, Steve. You didn't know me.
40 years ago, Steve.
Oh, wait.
Wait, 2012.
No, I thought you said that you were there this weekend.
No.
He said he has history.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, I've had a great week so far. Everything's going good. Life rocks.
My listening comprehension is turned down.
To my South Jersey friend Ursus, what's up?
Hey, what's up? I know, I'm Fonzie Bear over here. Hey.
Use biz.
Use biz.
I can't do that.
Use biz. Anyway, I've had a decent few days. Monday was a little rough, but that's always usually the case when it comes to teaching special ed kids. Sometimes Mondays can be rough, but that being said, I have 2 more work days, and then that evening, Thursday evening, I am hitting the road up to Cromwell and going to FurPoc with my partner. I should say, since this is a furry podcast, I should say my mate, Richard.
Miss me with that.
You gonna get?
I get so pissed when people are like, my mate. Like,
you
can say.
Well, I mean, I know there's a few room parties, at least one room party that should be pretty signed by my boy Ito Shep, spinning that party. Anyway, it should be.
Look at the wrist.
Figure that real. Anyway, really looking forward to FurPoc, and yeah.
Are we getting turned up? Because I am going to con as well with you. So are we getting turned up on Friday, like FAU status? What's happening?
Well, if I think that party I'm talking about, it might be Friday, and if it's Friday, and yeah, we may be getting a bit turned.
What about you guys? Are you turning up this weekend?
Turn up, squad.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm doing that at the con I'm going to though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah.
I'm not sure I'm going to do that.
You're a level-headed person.
Pipe's gonna get turned in spirit.
Well, it's your first convention. You just go with the flow, man.
Don't want to be smashed.
In terms of convention thing, it's your.
Avoid the flavored vodka.
Yeah. No. Come on. That's mean.
But I mean,
Pipe was fine.
It's fine. He was. He really was. And you're.
No, yeah, you weren't actually that bomb.
We're
just fucking poking on.
You're being way too hard on yourself.
I couldn't sit through last week's. 7. I couldn't sit through it though.
It was.
Everybody, make sure to listen to week 7.
No.
Yes. Week 7. No. He's fine. You'll back us up. Anyway. Now, Steve. You're up.
We're not going to discuss my week.
No, let's hear it.
We are.
Everybody does. Come on.
Right? Come on.
It was shitty. I made 2 gigantic mistakes in 2 days.
What'd you do?
Embarrassing.
Let's hear it.
Let's start with Sunday.
No. One of them involves a family member who I have yet to patch things up with.
Uh-oh.
Oh, then 3 things.
We won't.
Yeah, let's not. You don't have to go into
the other one involves an encounter with a police officer. So.
Oh my god.
Steve.
Those 2 are unrelated, by the way, right?
Unrelated, but very shitty.
How hardcore is Steve? What's going on with the
car?
No, I was driving a fucking car, and apparently I was whipping too fast, and the guy, he wasn't even in a speed trap, he just happened to be passing me, and apparently, he was able to tell how fast I was going, so he pulled a Yui and pulled me over,
Wow.
I would dispute it, but at the same time, I already have a ticket on my record, so I would have no chance.
Yeah.
It would just waste a day. I may as well just eat it. He said I was going 53. I wasn't going 53.
53 and a what?
And apparently it was a 30. Everyone does 40, but whatever. I'd never seen a 30 sign on that
How do
damn
you get
street
you with
before.
such an exact number without radar? 53. Like
apparently, I fucking ran into
Do you have a radar?
today.
Wait, but
so...
do you have a radar detector in your car?
No, it wasn't my car.
Oh well, then
It was a piece of shit Saturn with a broken exhaust, so it sounded like I was whipping all the time, but I wasn't.
To be honest, he could have still had radar. I don't know what kind of radar technology they have. But he still could have had radar on.
Yeah.
You know, I've passed cops that are moving the other direction and had my detector go bleep 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 bleep, and so like okay. You
got a radar detector to the fucking XB, dude?
Yes, I do.
Yes, you damn do. I need to get one, but then again, it doesn't help if I'm not in my car.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But anyway, sorry to hear that, dude.
No, it was bullshit. It was bullshit the whole day. The whole day was bullshit. The whole day prior was bullshit. Everything was bullshit, and I just like wrote the check.
But this podcast isn't bullshit. This
podcast
bullshit.
is not bullshit. This podcast is the best thing to happen to me all week.
Steve, you my family.
My family. I'm gonna get his whole motherfucking family. Wow. Yeah.
All right.
No, but like it's Tuesday. The week has so much of a chance to get better. So like I'm not gonna be a con.
Well,
I'll be a little.
We love you, Steve.
That hard
no
C.
What. Never say never. We love you, Steve, no matter what.
I love you too.
All right.
So I guess we'll finish up with my week.
We'll wrap up with Kaz.
Wrap it up, boys. Speaking of wraps, I had a chicken cool wrap from Chick-fil-A today with like the avocado lime ranch dressing. Oh my god, it's so good. Anyway, my
when
week.
Bluff hit the sauce, popping big bottles.
Supporting that. Never mind.
My week.
Not
so
gonna go into Chick-fil-A bullshit.
my week's been up and down, I guess. There's like very bad news and then like very good news right after that.
Before we head into the news, can you please, honestly, as somebody who has 0 Chick-fil-A's, what makes it so?
What makes it so good?
Yeah.
So first off, when you walk in the restaurant,
Homophobia.
the fast food store, it's like so clean. It's like very.
Oh yeah.
It's like very modern. Like it's just like yeah, like this place isn't run down. It's like kept in good form. And they're like, okay, cool. Like there's like a bunch of like happy people there, and then like you walk in line. They're like, oh, how may I serve you today, or something like that. And they're like, do you want this to go for here? I'm like, well, thanks for asking. I want it to go. And they're like, oh, like awesome, that's great. And like they're so happy. And they're like, do you want a drink with your order? I'm like, sure. And they're like, that's great.
Shit free? Like they're just like, hey, you want a sandwich?
I mean, you still have to pay for it, but like, you want to pay for it. You're like, damn, these people are tight. And then
wait, so they ask you. So like, they ask you questions that they're supposed to ask you.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's
which
so
is crazy.
Good.
And
man,
like you order your food.
Tonight.
They do their job? What the hell?
Wow.
Job.
I'm sorry. I don't know. I feel like Wendy's is just as good as Chick-fil-A. And they don't hate on gays. Yay! Anyway.
Oh, actually, Chick-fil-A has stopped off on Okay, but anyway.
Well, no,
once you like order all your food,
Charles Jr. Master Race.
Once you order your food, they're like, you're like, oh, thanks, and they're like, my pleasure. I'm like, my mind's blown away.
They just get on their knees.
You know what?
I mean, let's just say when people are good to you and when people are kind, you react well to it.
That's true.
The main thing about it is that they've picked the right people, the perfect people for it. That you can tell that there may be one or two here and there, but you know that it's not like a fake kindness. It's genuine. It's actual, like, them actually kind of providing good service, that sort of idea.
I have to do more Chick-fil-A research because there's no way they pay them $8 an hour and they're this nice. There's no fucking way.
Yeah, and they also don't hire shitty people who are like,
because they don't pay $8 an hour. They probably pay like $15 an hour. There's no way they pay $8 an hour. They're this happy.
Yeah, they're way too happy. I'm like, how? Like, I need to work here. Like, damn.
Let me just be real.
Be real, son.
When I'm getting my shit on with a fucking $1 cheeseburger, I don't give a fuck who gives it to me. Just give me the damn food.
Some homeless guy in the corner.
Also, the food is really good.
I'm willing to bet that the service is great because it's a new establishment. And also, the Chick-fil-A in my area is really overrun because it's the only one in, like, the state. So there's like 2 lanes for the drive-thru, first of all. And they're all backed up. All the time. and it's just a regular experience, but with Chick-fil-A food instead of like Wendy's. And a further point of refutal, because fuck you, Kaz. There's a Burger King near me that has a total sweetheart. That does
Burger King does have chicken fries.
Total bait. Yeah,
I don't like their chicken fries. Their chicken
fries are pretty terrible.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
There's zero meat in them.
I mean, talk to me about that Wendy's game, and yeah, I like that.
The 4 for $4 gave me life.
I tell you what, you know what place?
4 for $4.
You know what place has game? Five Guys Burgers and Fries.
Five Guys is good.
There's No, that's
we're gonna start. Are we talking?
We gotta. At some point, either today or next week or something. We gotta have a Good Eats talk.
Oh, I
gotta talk about that.
You know what? Then we'll do that. We'll do that next week's podcast. Yeah. We'll have some Good Eats.
Sure.
Good Eats.
Okay. Kaz, you still have to talk about your week.
Oh yeah. So I'll mention. So last Wednesday I took a test. I thought I did pretty good. Friday I found that I got very shitty grade, which I was not expecting. It was a 65. And then
terrible though.
So I go through the weekend, but you're like, oh my god, how am I going to pass this class? And then Monday we go into class, and our teacher's like, yeah, everyone did really bad, so we're gonna have a retake. I was like, yes! And my week just instantly got better.
There you go. There you go.
Also, the hospital I go to for clinicals, they Chick-fil-A brings food there and sells it. So like Chick-fil-A's everywhere. That's just
in the hospital.
Yeah, in the hospital.
Blatant homophobe.
They bring food in the cafeteria, and then you can just you just buy it.
There was a Chick-fil-A restaurant at the campus at the university campus that I used to go to. I cannot speak right now, but there was, before they remodeled the building that it was in, there was a Chick-fil-A and a Taco Bell both right next to each other, like in
Taco Hell
in the building, and the line for the Chick-fil-A food was backed up like crazy, no matter what. Like you could go through the Taco Bell one, it's like, okay, I need this, and you look over at the Chick-fil-A one, it's like there's a huge line. It's like,
I just want to give a shout out to Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr. best fast food ever.
I don't have none of
Whataburger.
this. I don't have a Sonic. I don't have a Carl's Jr.
You guys don't know about Whataburger. You guys
I know about Whataburger.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Whataburger. Yeah.
That's In-N-Out.
In-N-Out, nope. Never had it.
We're saving that conversation for the next week.
Yes.
There we go. Yes.
We're saving this.
Good Eats.
No more shout-outs.
Good Eats and food.
We're putting this conversation in the fridge.
We're putting.
Guys, let's get that second intro going. What do we got?
Second intro. So boom. Next topic. Moving on.
Fandom.
We are talking about what it means to be a furry. How do you know you're a furry? Why does it matter if you're a furry? I don't know. We're making up these questions as we go along. What's it mean to be a furry? Ursus, hit me up.
Well,
on the spot.
It's interesting because we were talking about what it means to be a fandom. What does fandom mean?
Okay.
That was the notes, but since you haven't read the Kage story, you might not have read the notes. It's okay. It's all right.
Set him the fuck straight.
I'm sorry.
No, I don't mean to be a passive-aggressive bitch.
Yeah, you do. Let's be real.
I didn't write this down. I wasn't ready.
I know you go. But you know what? Have we talked about what it means to be? I don't know if we have.
I think we touched upon that.
Yeah, I thought
maybe not to like the degree that Kaz mentioned, but like we probably that was one of our first topics.
Oh.
First, F-U-R-S-T.
Oh, those.
What was?
What it means to be like a furry.
It was one of the topics that we were going to discuss, but I don't think we ever got to it. It was like,
yeah, I don't think we fully really discussed because there's so many things it could fall under. I mean, from
what really determines someone being a furry, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
well, you know what? Let's do it. Come on, let's go.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah,
so, who wants to go?
See, I was still right.
Well,
so since I started it, I'll give my opinion first.
There we go.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
There we go.
I'm going along with it. So, I'll just give my own experience.
You're like 3 months of experience.
Well, you mean like 10 or 11?
No, I mean like 2 days.
Wow. Okay, so
Rushing it.
I don't know. Back in December, I joined the forums after seeing that picture that we talked about. I forget anywhere. And like I don't know, I just started seeing art, not just like all kinds of art, all of it. And I started talking to like furry people like Piper and Steve, a few
Shout out
others
to past me.
who aren't in this Weowcast. Um, I don't know. I just got just involved talking to people. It was really cool, and just throughout January wasn't really a big thing to me. Kind of was, but like not really. But then in February, like it's when I started meeting all of y'all, like, including Ursus, and we just met like all these other people who joined like our large group, and like we were all such a good fam to each other.
Family.
Okay, but what
But
does it mean to be
Like this is my own
furry?
personal experience.
Right, which we've touched. No, not to pull you
But-
back on there, but we've touched on our personal fandom stories in on a past podcast. What does it mean, in your opinion, Kaz, to be a furry? What is your definition of a general? When someone is a furry in general.
Okay, I'll speed up my story just a bit. I do have I am going somewhere. Trust me.
Okay. Sorry.
So there's
I feel like
there's
Anderson
not like
Cooper
a
over here,
hard
debate moderator or
concrete
something.
line. There's not really like a line you pass or like, oh, like I checked 3 out of 5 criteria. I'm afraid now. It's like you're like, okay, you just kind of move and like, yeah. There's not really a point where like, yeah, I'm afraid now. It doesn't just like boom. So it's just for me, it was between like meeting a bunch of people and liking the art, having a persona. I think having a persona is like a big deal, but some people don't. And then the really seal the deal is just like going to the convention and having a blast. So if you want an actual definition for the word, I mean, it's so broad in general. It's really just liking
Anthropomorphic animals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me go next.
Yeah. All right, go, Steve.
Okay. What Kaz said is right. His concept is right. It's really broad, and considering yourself a furry or not, is something that that everyone like interprets differently. But I think it's as simple as being a fan on any level, being a fan of anthropomorphic animals, like mascots, like Disney characters, like any of that shit. Like if you like it and you're like, yeah, that's cool, whatever, like you're kind of a furry. That like, it doesn't mean like you're a diehard got a persona going to cons, got a fursuit furry, but like
Right.
it's kind of like how everybody likes music.
Right. I mean, not every furry goes to a convention. I mean,
Right.
there are
And not
plenty
every
of
furry
furries
has,
that
like, a
don't
sauna.
ever go to. Exactly.
But there's a lot of people on like forums and stuff and the communities that like just like talking to people, being a part of it. It's
Some people may consider themselves furries because they just like browsing the art and stories and that stuff that is
yeah,
all
like the content that the community generates.
right. Exactly.
Like gaming channels and stuff. Like it's a hobby.
Yeah.
A hobby of liking anther animals.
I agree. It's one of those things where it's like, because it is so broad. I mean, technically, when I'm 8 years old and I'm watching, Darkwing Duck or something like that, technically, if I like that character, yeah, I could be considered a furry because it's an anthropomorphic character. It's very a general, broad term. But it really breaks down to what you guys were saying. But if you like, the characters themselves, you don't even have to like the community. It's not even something where you have to be a part of the community. You don't have to be on a forum. You don't have to be on Skype. You don't have to be Telegram or anything. You don't have to be talking to anybody from the
Reppin'
fandom.
Telegram.
Yeah, you don't have to be talking to anybody from the fandom to be a furry. You can pretty much go your own way if you want to. You can develop your own character. You can, you could basically do what you want with it. You're not really restrictive to just that. But yeah, that's what makes it so great. It's a very blanket term. You can do whatever you want with it, And it's not so much a concrete definition. It's pretty much however the person who's into it feels. You know, there you have the diehard furry who probably doesn't even think he's a diehard, who's like at every con, 10 cons a year, fursuit, all this, who probably doesn't see it as that diehard. But then somebody who's never been to a con, who's just like drawing their own character and not talking in a community, might see that as intimidating. But you don't have to. You can do whatever you want with it. You know, it's your own real definition as to how you feel. You know, like it's at the end of the day, it's an activity. Like, for example, one of my passions is poker playing. I don't walk around and telling people, "Hey, I wore my poker suit today." You know, it's not. It's at the end of the day, it's a hobby. It's your hobby. It's whatever you want to make it. If you want to do your hobby all the time, do it all the time. If you want to do it once a week, do it once a week. It's up to you. That's pretty much it. At least for me, my opinion. But meh. Anyway, who wants to go next?
Pipper.
Pip.
Okay.
Pip. Hooray.
For me, like, I guess I would be one of those diehard furries because I plan on going to a list of conventions. I'm very active and well known in my own local furry community, so for me, I think the point where you really say that you're a furry is really depends on how active you are with it. It's not based on what you do. It's based on like how long you're involved with it. I guess pretty much like if someone just joins a fandom and they stick with it for like 3-4 days or so and then take a break from it and then come back like a couple of months down the road and spend another 3-4 days on it with it, I'm like, I can't really consider that a furry. If someone occasionally sporadically does something within the furry fandom, I wouldn't say they would be a furry.
I mean, I guess for me, it's. I think because every kid out there, almost every kid out there, is raised on animal characters, whether in cartoons, ads, books. I don't know if that considers. I guess you could say generally that could consider yourself a furry, but I think it has to be a conscious choice. I think you have to say, wait a minute, this is something that I like. I like anthro characters. I like anthro art. I think the fandom part of it is that conscious decision of liking and enjoying anthro art and knowing that it's that genre.
And being a part of the community too.
I mean, I guess
if you're going to cons.
Well, if you're going to cons, yes, but some people who might consider themselves furries and who may only just go online and just look at art, and that's it. They still might consider themselves a furry because they're a fan of that art, but they may not ever even have an interaction with another fur face to face or even online. They might just lurk. But still consider themselves a furry. I think that they're furries too, but it's that conscious choice, self-choice, and recognition of that I like anthro animals and anthro characters that I think makes you a furry, capital F, furry.
Ursus hits us with the missing link.
And that may lead to our next little topic, which is fandom. Definition of a fandom.
Well, I wanted to add a little bit more
go for it.
with the whole furry thing, because when I've told the story as to how I got involved with the fandom when I was 14 in 2001. Basically, had an animal name on Counter-Strike, got invited to a furry forum, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I went into it not knowing what the fuck it was. So I joined this forum, and pretty much within, the day or two that I was starting to post, I got an idea as to what it was, and I was like, oh yeah, I totally am that. Okay, that makes sense.
Is that right?
So it's because it was like, okay, I like other characters. I used to play Bloody Roar on PlayStation 1, and which look that up if nobody knows that game. Type in Bloody Roar.
Too young.
Google. So just type it in. It's a fighting game with anime characters. But I would play that. And,
Like
I knew
Star Fox,
I knew about obviously everything that's involved with it, except for obviously the name. But it's as I said, it's one of those things where it's like, people don't even need to use the title, are you a furry? No, you can just be like, no, I just like anther characters. Done. Like, if somebody doesn't really live in the whole con aspect and stuff like that, just be like, yeah, I just like anther characters. Cool. That's it. There's people who love, I love football. I haven't seen a live football game in 10 years. It's one of those things where it's however, you work it, put that thing down, flip and reverse it,
Missy Elliott.
Missy Elliott,
Worldwide exclusive.
That Weowcast mixtape, though.
Right? Oh my
Man.
god, you should drop a mixtape. We'd kill it. Got
Destroying it, honestly.
Piper on the guitar, Steve rapping.
No.
Yeah? Steve's not rapping? Why not?
No. I'm on the production.
He's on the he's in production. Okay, he's production. I'll rap.
Actually, no, I'm not even
There
gonna
you go.
No, I'm just gonna be doing ad libs. That's what I'm gonna be doing. Like, I'm gonna be in the background, like Swaggy.
He's gonna be Squaw. He's just gonna be
There it is.
Yeah, baby.
like a random song, like a love song. He'll just be in the back, flick at the wrist. Like, that has nothing to do with love.
Like a double.
100 bands.
What about your fuzzy bat?
Fuzzy bad baby.
For those who don't know, he has a topper in Rocket League.
An antenna.
It's not a topper.
For the Halloween update, they added some content where they have some spooky antennas that you can put on your rocket car. And there's one that's like a little bat. It's like a little round bat
kind of
with
bat?
a smile and like wings, and it's a little fuzzy bat baby. It's really cute. That's why I'm going all goo goo gaga over, because it's a fuzzy bat baby. So.
Would you say you're going Lady Gaga about it?
Yes, Gaga.
Yes.
I'll see myself.
Yes.
I'll see myself out.
Okay.
Bye,
Gaga,
everybody.
you look so good.
All right,
I'm gonna go ahead and kind of use this as a segue. Is like the whole Rocket League thing.
Mm.
If we're determining a
Yeah,
fandom, like what
Make the
determines a
connection.
fandom,
Segue it. You got
Yeah.
this.
would you say that there'd be a fandom for Rocket League or just a fan base for Rocket League
Oh,
based
100%.
on like
100%.
Yeah.
Like for example, one of the top two players, their names are Gibbs and Kronovi. Why do I know that? Because if you go on YouTube and just type in "amazing Rocket League goals," those are the only two names that come up. For God's sakes, now, I mean, Rocket League is a much smaller video game, but in the whole subset of a video game fandom, I guess you can call it.
I
But
think.
Rocket League is on NLG. They're on ESL, excuse me. In YouTube, you can watch them. There's plenty of live streamers that that are on Twitch that do Rocket League. The Reddit, apparently there's a subreddit that's huge, according to Steve. I didn't know that.
Yeah, if I look it up, it's got a crazy theme and everything.
Yeah, of course. I mean, pretty much. We talked about it before earlier, but the definition of fandom could really be anything. I mean, for myself, the poker community is gigantic. I mean, I'm a member of 2+2 Poker Forums, and that's at least top 10, I think, in terms of world's biggest forum. And that could be considered a fandom.
It's got almost 10,000 readers.
I
I
mean,
mean, 100,000 readers. Rocket League.
there's one.
Yeah, oh wow, that's a
Jeez.
lot.
There's one main thing I see determining a fandom and whether a person is part of that fandom. It's
Mhm.
time dedication.
Mhm.
That's what it is to me.
Mhm.
If you
And-
spend
and-
a lot of time with it, then you're dedicated to it, and you're going to be
You're
a fan, part of the fandom, that sort of thing.
Now, how much time would you say? Because it could technically be relative. Like, for example, myself, I love football, but football's only one day a week. I'm not on Tuesday. I'm not looking up NFL.com. You know what I mean? On Wednesday, I'm not doing that.
Maybe it's not necessarily time spent as an amount or an amount of time spent, but maybe it's consistency.
Okay.
Yes.
Involvement.
Yes.
Consistent interaction with that community, even though your interaction is maybe once a week with, say, the NFL or any sports fandom. You're still consistently interacting with the community or people who
No, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, so maybe it's just consistency. Yeah, so.
Okay. Yeah, no, it definitely makes sense. I mean, it's one of those things where there's, the title fandom, I mean, isn't just really, for example, the anime fandom or, people who like Coca-Cola products.
Fucking weebs.
Or people who are into,
I think the Coke fandom could be something else.
Or something like that.
Let's hear more about that, Ursus.
I mean, I'm a member of the
Yikes.
Bucks MC. No, I'm just gonna be. No, don't
Wait,
worry.
what's it called?
The Bucks MC. We're actually a club we are about half motorcycle riders. I'm not one of them. As much as I think motorcycle riding is pretty badass. It's more of a brotherhood of people who are connected with both the gay community, but also the leather community, the Levi community, that kind of stuff. So, yes,
Diesel
you could
jeans.
go those diesel jeans. Them diesel jeans.
Diesel jeans.
Not the Gucci linens, but the diesel jeans.
And diesel jeans.
Versace.
But I mean, people. I equate the furry fandom to this only in the fact that we, as a club, as the Bucks, we hold a fundraiser, an event, a big event, not kind of like a con. It's held at the hotel. It is gathering about 2 days, gathering of like-minded men and women.
Oh, it's definitely a con.
And we raise,
or an expo.
specifically for the opportunity to raise money for specific charities, GLBT-related charities.
Oh, that's 100% a con.
Area.
Yeah.
So
that sounds really nice, though. That's awesome.
we're actually, we as an aside, we get probably about 1,000 people a year.
Wow.
So
con. Yep.
it's
Leather daddies.
kind of the East Coast, but anyway. That is a fandom. I mean, it's not, an identity, say.
A lifestyle.
Well, it
Yeah.
is.
It
It is a lifestyle.
That is a lifestyle.
It's completely a lifestyle, and being a furry is a lifestyle as well.
Okay, I get it.
So there you go.
What's wild is when you think about it. I mean, I want to give other people a chance to talk about, but just want to say this one thing. When you think about it, like. I almost feel, I mean, it's not so much yet, but I almost feel like the furry fandom in itself is almost at that level where you could say it like, remember, like, if you talk about Comic-Con, like, if my dad talked about going to a Comic-Con 30 years ago or something like that, my dad's a big Trekkie, he loves Star Trek, but if he talked about liking Star Trek 30 years ago, you would have been ruthlessly made fun of. Now it's like, oh, you don't like Battlestar Galactica? You don't like Star Trek? What are you doing with your life? You don't watch Naruto? Like, what are you doing? Now it's like, I almost feel like the fandom is starting to become so much in the aspect of where you could say like, I was binge watching Bleach or something like that, and it's like, oh, I was on the furry forum all night or something like that, or I was at a con, I was at Comic-Con, oh, I was at a furry con, like, it's like. I think it's starting to become, I mean, obviously it's not as big as like a Comic-Con or anything like that, but it's starting to become more where it's talked about more because people appreciate the creative side of it and the community side of it, and it's that's growing, and in the whole definition realm of fandom. But anyway, Cass, let's hear something.
Wait.
Yeah.
No, Steve.
Wait.
Steve's got something.
I just. You gave me an idea.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to like try to transition into Kage's post.
Damn.
And-
Wow, ignoring Cass.
let's just ignore me then.
Because you can take a step back. It's like a little thing, but like when you're talking about timelines and how Comic-Cons used to be really tiny and niche and kind of like looked down upon. Kage mentions like in the 90s, there was only one con.
Really? Sure.
And
there was.
And there's cons happening all over the place, like every weekend, and there's just shit popping off. So it's only a matter of time where like it's not going to be taboo.
As long as we don't keep losing them.
As long as we don't keep like hotel
right.
Unit.
Exactly. But
how many cons did we lose this year?
No, but that's all I wanted to say. That's all I wanted to say. Yes! Your turn.
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like the furry. I always sort of. I don't know. But anyway, that's okay. So I feel like just like the more of the general public is starting to learn about what furries are, it's starting like I feel like the Midwest Fur Fest, that whole shenanigan that happened last year with the gas attack, like that hit like mainstream news, and like was it NBC?
MSNBC.
Yeah.
Joe
like
Scarborough, he sucks.
The anchor who like freaked out, like walked
Joe
away.
Scarborough.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
like
actually,
that went.
That was more. I was surprised that it was Mika. It was Joe and Mika who do the Morning Joe show at MSNBC. Mika sort of had this very childish reaction, just like giggling at this entire thing.
Yeah, people are like going to the hospital. They're being attacked and laughing.
Just giggling, and I'm like, oh, that's cringe. That's just absolute cringe.
10 people were killed. LOL.
10 people did. 10
no.
Okay, I was gonna say like I missed that part.
Died? What?
No. But I'm just saying, you know, like
I understand. It's just laughing in the face of people, you know, getting poisoned, like having poison from.
She wouldn't laugh if it was a Comic-Con or anything.
Probably not. I mean, but at the same time, the fact that it hit, you know, Kaz, the fact that it hit mainstream news, and the fact that more people were more visible as a fandom.
Yeah.
You know.
To relate it,
video went viral and everything, and
to relate it a little bit more to the whole topic of just fandoms in general. Kaz, would you say you agree that pretty much anything and everything can be a fandom, depending on it could be one person liking a pet rock. I feel like that could be a fandom.
Pet rock.
The person really wants it to be.
I mean, if it's just like, I would just think a fandom is just like a group of people with a common interest.
I agree. Think about this. Me and Ursus both vape. Vaping is becoming
a
huge fandom.
There's vape.
Well, like I get it, Con. Like
I get it, Con.
We get it.
We get it, you man.
You know what else is a huge fandom? Cars and motorsports.
Oh, there we go.
I was actually
there it is.
That out.
Cars.
There it is.
Yeah, thank you, Piper. High five. Let's go.
There it is.
There it is.
Go in. You can't just say it. You go in. You're gotta go in.
I can kind of elaborate on that. Like, auto racing is a huge thing for me, more than just one specific one, like NASCAR. Yeah, it's more than just one specific one. Considering the fact that this past weekend I ended up going to Talladega and watching Saturday and Sunday race, but I've been a fan of auto racing for years. Whether it was NASCAR, IndyCar, Formula One, British touring car.
Formula One race was
Rally, dude. Rally got bans.
World Rallycross, yes. World Rally.
Oh wait, you just
Formula One race was in America this week.
Yeah, I missed that.
Yeah, I was flipping back between Talladega and Formula One.
But there's also like MotoGP and all that other stuff. But I mean, there's so much to it that it's such a vast, huge fan base that it's got with it. And I'm trying to think of like.
Well, I was saying just like with the furry fandom, indie racing has like subsets where like somebody could be like a huge NASCAR person, and you mention like IndyCar, they're like, IndyCar, get out of there with that shit. Whereas me, it's like you, I love all forms. It's like, you know, Yeah, I can watch rally and then the next day watch motorcycle racing and then the next day watch NASCAR. It's just, well, sometimes you'll get the diehard where it's like, I can only watch Formula One. Fuck NASCAR. Like, no.
It's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
funny
that's
that we
kind
talked
of like
about this.
furries versus bronies, isn't it not?
Oh my god,
Yeah,
a little bit.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Kaz,
Kaz?
resident.
Yeah, Kaz can give us some insight on that.
I came from like being a brony is like my gateway drug to furriness. Yeah, like you can make that analogy, I guess. But I mean, it's kind
You
of
sure
like
it wasn't LSD?
Oh boy, oh, nice meme, Steve.
Good meme.
Because Steve can't even comprehend.
Yeah, I
like,
was playing Furry Feud at a con, and like the guy was like, "What's a gateway drug to being a furry?" And I was like, "LSD." I didn't understand the gateway concept. I thought he was actually asking for drugs that could cause.
I like how your gateway drug is LSD, not like weed, not beer, LSD.
Beer's a drug?
Yes.
Technically, alcohol is a drug.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
Alcohol is
yeah,
a drug.
but like not a hard drug. Like people aren't like, "Oh, I'm getting so high right now," when they're taking like a fucking brewski. Like,
You don't get high on
But
beer.
yo, can I rant about Brony, the Brony fandom for a second?
Yes.
Yes.
Go ahead.
It's not against like Bronies themselves, but it's against like Bronies are based off a TV show. Like that's where it, and like you see the product line and all that good stuff, but it's this fandom, this new Brony fandom came from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, the TV show. And whereas furries are based off like user generated content and just like arts, it doesn't come from a source of media that's like broadcasted.
well,
Do you get you try you
I
guys
get what
say,
you're
like
saying.
one's
I
based
get
off a
it, but I
TV
don't
show, one
necessarily-
isn't, but I'm like
it's from a whole
I
bunch
guess
of
it's-
sources.
I guess-
It wasn't
right,
like Incept.
it's not a first. It's not like one source. Like this is one TV show that Brony fandom is based on. You could say that the furry fandom is based on many, 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 many different types of media,
Yeah,
from Disney to children's books to you could see that. But yeah, you're right. It's that one specific focus versus furries are a little more broad.
right.
We're all broads.
There we go.
There we go.
But I'm trying to find a segue. But
I think Pipe, you were going to say something else though about
Yeah.
like the racing community and stuff like that. I could have sworn you were about to.
Well, I mean, you kind of did point out what I was trying to say. It's like there's different aspects of the fandom, and it just has different points. Like a lot of different fandoms do. Whether it be cars, vehicles, and furries, bronies, that sort of thing. There's a very
Disparaging?
What is the word? I cannot think of it.
Disparaging?
diverse.
Diverse. That's it. Diverse.
D.
Drivers. We're talking about cars.
Yeah.
D.
That's been
This is
hitting that
losing all
bottle.
train of thought right now.
Train.
You're
Train.
saying, you're saying
Train
You're
enthusiasts.
saying what I'm saying. How there's like so many different subsets of the racing community that
Yeah.
it is technically can be considered a fandom, even though some people don't call it a fandom. That's basically what you're
Yeah,
saying.
Yeah.
that's like there's
Yeah.
1,000 different words like enthusiast or
Exactly.
advocate
Furry
or
that'd be funny. What are you in? Oh, I'm in the furry enthusiast fandom.
I'm a furry.
I'm an
enthusiast.
advocate for
Oh
anthropomorphic.
God.
There we go.
The word.
Hey, AAA. I'm a AAA, baby.
Another
Hey,
question.
Yeah.
Would you say that there is a fandom for something such as Vine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, there's Vine cons and shit. These people make so stupid
There
amounts of money.
is a VineCon, isn't
There
there?
is.
Are you
Yeah.
serious?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what it is? A lot of you go to like the comedy vines, and a lot of the vines are meant for like 14-year-old girls, and they go pay shit tons of money to look at
there's-
Cameron Dallas half naked.
Yeah,
And
there's a
get
lot
paid
of
a ton of-
personalities.
And there's one. Oh my God, what's his name? Oh my God, I don't know. There's one guy. His vine
Nash,
sucks so hard, but
Nash
he's on
Greer.
like TV and stuff like that.
Nash Greer.
Yeah, he sucks.
He's a douchebag. He sucks.
Terrible. But 14-year-old girls love him. and his brother does vines.
He's
as well.
ugly as fuck.
Wow,
Dude.
this kid, yeah, he looks like I would hate him.
$15,000 for a 6-second ad. His brother, actually not a bad guy. His brother's a quarterback for Florida, but anyway, he sucks.
Give him a pass.
But yeah, there's VineCons and this stuff. There's a huge following with these like people who like for his brother's on Dancing with the Stars, for God's sakes. Nash Gru's
What
brother.
kind of behavior a VineCon would get?
It's
you know, like
Fortunately, screaming. That's all it is. Ah, Vine.
I mean,
Like would people be making vines at the Vine convention?
Oh, I don't doubt it.
No, yeah, like that's like
meta
you
as
can't
fuck.
have VineCon without
Meta
Vine.
AF.
It's customary.
Like the
It would
vines,
be like
the vines that I love,
a
like,
con without FA.
like use Vine to make like awesome memes and like really creative vines where it's like you could tell they actually thought about it and they weren't just like taking off their shirt to get followers. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you find that too often with a lot on Vine. But yeah, there's definitely a Vine fandom.
How
That's
long has this
100%.
convention been going on for Vine? Anyways?
I think.
Oh well,
this might
Vine's
have-
only 2 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what
So
I was thinking. I was
that's-
like, I was kind of confused. Like, isn't it a bit too young to have a convention for something like that already? And it's like,
Guess not.
It blew up.
Yeah.
She went boom.
It's popping.
It's popping.
that's just weird.
There's
to
no
think
limit.
about.
There's no limit when popularity is high.
Kaz, let's go to VineCon. Let's do it.
Fine time.
Yeah, we could do Grape Time, Grape Cam,
Grape Cam.
Grape Cam.
Man,
Cam.
I have
Smack Cam.
Oh
Bitch, I hope the fuck you do.
I could
You'll be a
first
dead
at the
son of a
VineCon then.
bitch.
Home Alone
There you
Vine
go.
is so good. That last like half millisecond where you're just dead.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's funny how
When you said
quick
Home
you can
Alone, I thought the
process
movie.
visual
I
information.
was like,
It's
what?
there.
There's a Home Alone Vine?
It's there for
What is?
the clip of him in his face. Like it's
Oh,
there
yeah.
for a tiny amount of time, but you can instantly garner what's
he's,
occurring.
he's either dead or asleep. I went with dead.
I like having this like
Honestly.
split second, like little like,
I like
just
some
image where I'm just dead.
Listeners are gonna be like, "What are they talking about?"
We're talking about Kazlus's vines.
Yes.
At Kazlus Yee.
There we go.
Because
Give
now,
them a little bit of context.
yeah, because now you can on the an update, you can actually type in people's Twitter names to find their vines.
Their Vine account.
So it's at Kazlus.
Oh yeah, and I post my vines to my Twitter, so follow me at Kazlus Yee.
I just gave
That's YEE
Yeah.
after Kazlus.
Because Kaz
I'm not gonna
reached
link that in the description because it's been done multiple times already.
Yes, we have linked it.
Yikes.
Look in
Following
the descriptions. You better fucking follow Kazless, guys.
No more free promos.
All right, Kaz.
Yeah.
I
Well-
also dressed up as a Frenchman, so yeah.
Oh my
Put a
god.
scarf and a fake mustache on.
And a sweater, a V-neck sweater. It's very French.
I need to post more of my vines on Twitter because I really
Just cross-post.
Yeah.
I didn't do
You just
that.
gotta cross-
You would
Vine is-
honestly
yeah.
bump.
Yeah, Vine is owned by Twitter, so just like.
Oh,
do
is it
that.
really?
Yeah, and
I don't know
Periscope.
that.
I also need to do another Vine actually.
That makes sense.
There you go.
Yeah. So
Makes lots
Kaz,
of sense. What's up?
as our intro man, I'm gonna leave it to you right now to give us to our next topic.
Boom, boom, boom. Topic 3, or is it 2?
Three.
I guess it would be 3 because we did what it means to be a furry.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
there's
Okay.
Spam,
Boom, boom,
so-
boom. Topic 3. Okay.
that,
That's stretching for time.
that rewind.
All right. So it looks like Uncle Kage. He is the CEO of Anthrocon. He put out a statement about con cancellations and security in lieu of recent events of the cancellations of I forgot what the cons are called.
Rainforest.
Rainforest.
and
Oh,
The
they're
Rainforest
right.
lost their con location.
Yeah, we don't know. That's not really been officially canceled. They just lost a
Oh,
hotel.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
But
that's what I'm saying.
Opacon was official. Yeah, it is a cancellation of sorts. I mean, you know, but there we
Has to
go.
relocate.
Right, there we go. I mean, but he in the article, which weirdly enough has been taken down for some odd reason. I don't know if Kage wanted to take it down. It makes no sense. But anyway,
I'm gonna look it up and make sure it hasn't been posted again or something.
Okay, yeah, because it really his points are so valid. It's just
Yeah, he's really grounded.
really it's which is I mean grounded except for when it comes to his friends. But anyway, to Griffin.
Cough, cough.
Anyway, but he really knows how to run a convention.
I don't see it.
He knows how to run a convention, and this is going to be going on to his 20th year with basically no mention in the media, other than a little bit of incidents here and there. But Anthracon's been running very strong for quite a while because of of what he's, his philosophy about running a convention. Like, his first thing was getting a close relationship with the hotel, just staff working with the hotel, and letting them know that we're not going to tolerate some of the stuff that has happened that has put Oclocon and Rainforest into jeopardy. And he also saying being aggressive about it.
Be aggressive.
It's like, if you fuck up, you're gone, and you're gone permanently. And that makes you think, like, should I be doing this? I'm going to jeopardize my future at this convention, and also, since he is involved with this group of conventions that talk to each other. They all talk to each other, basically. And so not only are you jeopardizing your Anthracon, you're jeopardizing possibly going to any other convention, or your time, your social time, just because people will know you as the guy that did this stupid shit at Anthracon or at this other con. And so it's just about apparently being aggressive and
Be
not
aggressive.
tolerating it.
I agree.
People second chances.
I agree. I agree. You don't. You don't want to just keep. You can't say, okay, we lost 2 cons. That's a terrible. That's a terrible average, because, like, okay, so say we lose 2 again next year. It's like, okay, cool. We only lost 2 more. We didn't lose 3. You know what I mean? Like, we can't. It's definitely good to definitely be more proactive about shit. And it's definitely the way to go.
Piper, what do you think?
The 2 main points that he pointed out is, like, you got to be strict and you got to have that connection with the hotel. That is the very essential item, the very essential things you gotta consider when you're making a con. The next thing is, like, following through with it and having a set group to be able to do so, instead of having to leave just one person by yourself to do it. You gotta have a group you can count on to be able to help you with that. And if someone and that group ended up having to go off to something else, you gotta have someone there for backup. You gotta make sure you have a set group to be able to stay with it, just stay strict with it. Because we had one in my state for a while. I found out a few months ago that ended up closing or finishing off because they just didn't have the base behind it. They didn't have enough people that would show up regularly or something like that, and then there was some sort of speculation about the hotel and the staff weren't really having that connection like it was pointed out.
You want to have a hotel needs to be able to trust
exactly
the owners and the operators of this con. I mean, it needs to be able to trust that they are going to be able to effectively police the convention. And one of the things that he brings up is that he likes to make it as public as possible. Whenever somebody screws up, he likes to make the consequences as public as possible, not only to the convention attendees, but also to the hotel staff, and saying, "Look, we're doing something about this." And and also it's a bit of shaming. Mm-hmm. It's a shaming tactic, and it works. I mean, it really does. You don't want to get embarrassed in front of if you're trying to be all cool. Oh, I'm going to be all edgy, and I'm drunk, and I'm going to do this, and you get shamed in front of all your friends and a bunch of furs. and the hotel. It's like, yeah, I shouldn't have done this, and you shouldn't do this either. You know, it's like, yeah, look what can happen to you.
And to build off what you're saying, Uncle Kage, like in his deleted post, he said there's two necessary things to do. One is foster a very close relationship with the hotel that the con is at, and to aggressively deal with the miscreants. And those are like the exact words from his article. And he says like they bend over backwards for West End, and if something is troubling them, he makes a point of addressing it immediately without question. So
we'll see what happens. You
gotta be proactive about it.
I mean, we're going to a convention. The three of us are going to two different conventions this coming weekend, and you know, I know I'm going to be thinking about like what I know that Furpok is going to have plenty of people who are going to be, you know, a little drunk, you know, turn up. But there's a difference between doing that, you know, responsibly or being, you know, in control of your behavior and being a miscreant.
And we'll see for the most part if people can handle the concept of policing themselves. We'll see about that. You know, I want to have faith in people, but you never know.
No, you never know.
Yeah.
From what I'm aware of in my con, we're having a lot of first-time people, so
that should be
that
interesting.
in itself will be interesting. Yes.
You know, people not knowing or potentially not knowing, you know, con etiquette.
Definitely agree. More people need to know. But,
really?
You know, what can you do? We'll see. We'll be glad to report back.
Yeah, we'll be reporting back on our conventions.
On our shenanigans.
Right?
Next week.
Which, you know, hence why we're recording on a Tuesday.
Yeah.
We uploading this now, or you upload this on Thursday?
I think I'm gonna wait until Thursday. Our usual, the usual upload time is Thursday, so.
So all y'all listening, we're 2 days.
It's Thursday right now.
It's Thursday, October something.
October 29th, 2015.
Wow, it's almost November. Wow.
We're speaking to you from the past.
Oh, that's legit. I get my first suit in 6 months. So. I know. I can't wait. So, Kaz.
Bluff.
My intro man.
Outro.
Let's get some outro.
So, today is October 29th. Thursday, absolutely. Definitely.
Definitely Thursday.
So, let's cover some things we talked about. We talked about what it means to be a furry, what we defined some things as being furry, or what it means to be... I suck at this, guys. We just need to find the definition, the word, the furry. What is a furry? We talked about that stuff. Then we touched on some other stuff, and then we ended with talking on the comments made by Uncle Kage in regards to cancellations that recent cons have seen. So it's been a pretty dink time with my friends Viper, Steve.
Wow. What are you trying to say?
I was gonna say bluff.
What are you trying to say, Bo?
I was gonna say bluff. I was like,
it's Viper.
Piper C, Bluff, Ursus, and me, Casilus.
I would totally call it Viper, but anyway.
Viper. So, anyone else want to say some dank ass outro comments?
We're 8-0. Goodbye, everybody.
8-0.
No, undefeated.
Right.
Squaw.
Nearly 2 months of Weowcast.
That's right.
1738. Squaw.
Squaw.
1738. Other things.
Real.
Just bark. Bark.
Well, if there's nothing else, I will go ahead and
Good shit.
end it with...
Good shit.